Hi everybody, what a great week at class with some really good results. Looks like we're in for a good weekend as well, which is all good. So I have a question for you. Do you ever find some weeks you feel really hungry? Okay, and you kind of go, God, what's going on? I feel really hungry, you know? And we all get those weeks, myself included, and it can be a number of different reasons that cause you to feel like that, you know? Like the first one, and the one thing I'd always say is, are you actually eating enough? Now, I know that one actually sounds a bit ridiculous, but when it comes to losing weight, the one thing you shouldn't be doing is starving yourself. You need to eat right to lose weight, okay? Because if you're not eating enough and you're finding you're hungry and you're maybe skipping on meals, whatever, you know what's going to happen, and you know it's probably happened in the past, is you've given up, right? So you need to make sure that you're eating properly and you're eating correctly and you're eating enough. So you're having your breakfast, your lunch and your dinner and your 2 snacks in between as well, or you can keep a snack for the evening, you know. And it's really important because if you're not eating enough, your body starts going into starvation mode, which actually doesn't work. But also if you're not eating enough, you just get bored and you just give up as well, okay? There's no quick fix solution. And you know what? When we join and we come along, we always love to wait. You know, we all love to go on tomorrow. You know, I often think of that program that was on years ago called Stars in Our Eyes, and I think I've mentioned this before. Like, do you remember Stars in Our Eyes? Like, you'd come along and, you know, somebody would disappear and they'd come back a few minutes later and they'd be a completely different person. And we'd love our weight loss to be like that, but that is not the way it is. You know, losing weight takes time, and it takes, you know, a couple of months, or it could take a year, or whatever that. And it's, you know, losing that little bit every single week is losing that pound to a pound and a half. And by losing weight like that, not only are you going to lose the weight, but you're going to keep it off as well. But you're almost like your body is kind of like naturally losing the weight the way it should be. Now, and I know sometimes it'd be lovely to go, oh God, I'd love it all gone tomorrow, and maybe if I don't do the plan right, or if I skip a meal, or I don't have enough to eat, whatever, you know, I'll lose a bit of weight quicker, but that won't happen. And all that does is make you hungry. All it does is makes you hungry, and it makes you then maybe in the evenings, it makes you kind of catch up and eat all around you and everything. So I want you to have faith, and I want you to trust the plan, because, you know, believe me, I know it works. I've seen it, it worked for me. I've seen it for so many of my members, that if you're doing the plan and doing the plan right, it will work, okay? It works, and it works really well, but also means that you're losing weight in a really healthy way as well, and it means that that weight will stay off you too, and that's the most important thing. So eating regularly is really important, and eating well at each meal, okay? Things like water. Are you drinking enough water? Water almost disguises itself as hunger. So if you're not drinking enough water, naturally you're going to feel hungry as well. And sometimes just having a glass of water will do, and it'll be exactly what you need it, okay? Another one is boredom. Now, we all, and particularly over the last, you know, year, 14 months that we've been in lockdown, and some of us have been working from home, or some of us have been out of work or whatever, and it's very easy to get bored, and it's very easy because we're, you know, our routines are gone and everything like that. Now, hopefully they are coming back. But when we're bored, we eat, and often we don't even notice we're doing it. We're picking and everything like that as well. But also we're constantly going around going, I feel hungry. Like I often say, my kids are always saying, come in and go, Mom, I'm starving. And I go, but you just had your dinner. And you know, they're not really hungry, they're just bored, you know. So that's something to really watch as well, okay? Another one is tiredness, or even sometimes time of the month as well. You know, when I'm tired, if I have a bad night's sleep, all I want to do the next day is eat, and all I feel the next day is hunger, you know. And that's okay if it's a once off, but if you find that you're tired constantly all the time, you really need to look at what you can do about that, you know. And you know, look at your sleeping habit. Are you getting, you know, the 7 to 8 hours recommended sleep that you should have per night, you know? You know, often are you staying up too late at night and having to get up in the morning and stuff? So maybe look at that. Maybe look at your routine of when you do go to bed at night. If you're not falling asleep, what's stopping you from doing that? It could be anything from, you know, watching the television, or being on your phone, or, you know, your brain being too active and stuff. And I always think about it like, you know, if you think of a child or a toddler or a baby or something, like, you know, we kind of wind them down to go to bed at night, you know. We don't just switch things off. Like, you know, there's a gradual process of saying, like, you know, maybe an hour before sleep you might bath them, or, you know, give them some milk or something like that, you know, and then there'd be lights, you lower the lights a little bit, and maybe a bit of soft music, and or reading a story or something. And all those things are like a little bit of a routine and a habitual thing to kind of gradually make you go down and relax and go into a sleep mode, you know. And often we don't do that. We just try and switch off immediately, like going from your phone to putting it down, to putting the light out, or switching off the television or something. So really, if you're having a constantly sleeping badly at night, please do something about it. Don't just leave it. Like, look at what's going on. Look at, you know, is there anything changed? Maybe move your bed around, or, you know, going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time, getting into a bit of routine. Is your room dark enough? Because it is a little bit brighter at night, and particularly in the morning as well. You know, even something like, you know, closing your wardrobe doors, giving your bedroom a tidy, refreshing it up. All of those things can really help you sleep better at night. If you know, there are stresses as well, I understand that at the moment too, and a really good one as well is, you know, put a notepad and pen beside your bed, and if something comes into your mind during the night, you know, instead of thinking about it all the time, write it down and a little bit of a reminder to think about it the next day, and then put it behind you as well. Another one is like really looking at your breathing when you're going to bed at night, like breathing in through your nose. All of those habits can really help, you know, get a better night's sleep. And running a nice hot bath for yourself, or not too hot even actually, and maybe lighting a few candles around the place and helping yourself relax down and wind down to going to bed, because often tiredness is one of the things that really makes us feel hungry the next day. Another one is, if it is a bit of habit that it is in the evening, that you're finding, like, you know, you've eaten well, you've done everything during the day, you've had your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, but in the evening, and I know for myself, and I know for a lot of us, particularly on the darker evenings and everything, you know, you might have your dinner and then an hour or two later you go, oh God, I love something fancy, something nice to eat, you know. And like next thing you start into a whole evening thing as well, and really you're actually really not hungry, you're not, it's just you're craving it, and you've fallen into a bit of habit of having something every evening. And that's what I'm going to suggest that you do FlexiFast. Now FlexiFast is a little plan that we brought out last year actually, and basically it's a short-term fast that you can do in the evening. So you eat completely normally during the day, you have your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner and your 2 snacks. But once you have your dinner in the evening, say it's at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening, whatever time you have your dinner at, you fast for 14 hours afterwards, and you don't eat again until 14 hours later. Now you can have your water or you can have herbal tea, but we recommend you don't have tea, coffee or any alcohol. And that's a really, really good one, because when you do the FlexiFast, you know, it really makes you think, and you go, okay, well look, I can't eat now, so I can have a water. You might even go out for a walk, or you might do a bit of ironing, you might do other things to occupy yourself. But that 14 hours is really good to give yourself a bit of a break, also to break that evening habit. Members have said to me that they sleep so much better actually in the night to do FlexiFast, because they haven't eaten, so their whole stomach is relaxed as well. It's a great weight loss booster as well, so something you really could give a try to this week as well. And when you get up in the morning, you have your breakfast as normal, you go through the day, and it's just after your dinner that you do that as well. So a number of things you can look at. So are you eating enough? Are you eating regularly during the day? You're not taking big blocks. So you have breakfast, lunch and dinner. Try and keep them, you know, your breakfast at a certain time, your lunch, your dinner, and use your 2 snacks. So don't be going any more than 3 hours without eating something during the day. As I said, water as well. Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Okay, are you hungry or are you thirsty? Tiredness, you know, maybe you're tired every day and that's what's making you feel hungry, because naturally when you're tired, you reach and particularly carby and sweet things you want as well. Is it boredom? And if it's boredom, maybe it's a habit you've fallen into. So maybe look at that as well. So I really want you to focus on those things for this week as well, and make sure you're getting out doing your walks every single day. So let's form that habit as well. And in the meantime, it was great classes this week. Have a fantastic weekend. You know where I am if you need me. And I look forward to seeing you all back in class next week. Have a brilliant week. Bye now.